right, boy oh boy, have I been looking forward to this interview, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a warm welcome. He was Trevor Phillip in Grand Theft Auto 5. He was Simon in Walking Dead, and among others. Of course, he has appeared in Murder Mysteries, Better Call Saul, and of course, legendary Westworld, Stephen Ogg! Very Catholic of you.
That was more greeting. I didn't mean to bless anyone.
No, that's okay.
But bless you all.
That's okay. The national religion is basketball, not Catholic.
Okay, good.
So you can have a
I was
seat.
thinking, is this for our ass?
Yeah, it's just in case, you know.
Or is that for the back? These really are, and
These are amazing.
they're really comfortable chairs. I don't think I need this stuff.
How can you not game for like 11 hours a day when you have this kind of chair?
Right? Like it's super comfortable. I don't know if these are available out there to go sit, but I would recommend going to the booth where these chairs are being... Is there a booth of chairs? That'd be great. I'm sure that's why everyone came. And everyone's going, why the fuck is he talking about these chairs so much? Pretty exciting stuff, right?
You're pretty much paid off at this point, you're thinking.
True.
So yeah, we have a whole designated area of just chairs. Just
I like
sitting.
those beanbags. When I walked around, there were some comfy looking beanbags.
I'm not very cool with beanbags because they're just too difficult to get up from.
Not true.
Well, for
Listen
you,
to the silence out there. Everyone's like, fuck, I came to listen to something, and these two dudes spoke about chairs and beanbags the entire fucking time. How much time do we have?
45 minutes, give or take.
We're gonna talk about chairs for 45 fucking minutes.
So what was your favorite chair before you met this one, this beauty?
It's very interesting because I've always wanted to get, true story, one of those, like, the king chairs, you know, the wooden,
Like a throne?
Wooden, like a throne, like with sculpture, you know, the wooden arms and the big back and the velvet.
Is it
Not
like-
sure what that meant.
Is it like an
The
ego
velvet
thing?
crotch.
Is it like an ego thing? So you could just sit
No,
on
no, no, not at all. I just, yeah, it wasn't like I'm king.
Yeah, on the
Not
board.
that. Not that. Yeah, not that. It was just, I thought at the end of I had a big dining room table. It was a big wooden, steel dining room table that a friend and I made. And I just thought it would look really cool to,
It would be very cool.
not because, you know, I'm king of the house, or king of the bed. It was just a cool look to go with the wooden table.
So-
Questions, comments, questions, comments?
Yeah, well, actually, we are going.
Questions, comments. This is a good story. This is true. Oh, and I do move around a lot too. The world's tallest woman, true story. Toronto, Niagara Falls, the Guinness Book of World Records. And she did this thing where, and I remember, I don't know how old I was, 6, 7, 10, 3. And we're, and does everyone understand English? I'm assuming, because we don't, right? Everyone's, right? Everyone seems to speak English. I didn't know if everyone is just silent because they don't understand what I'm fucking saying. But anyways, this is a great story. And the world's tallest woman, so I remember sitting there and we were waiting for like, the world's tallest woman, right? Like, oh my God. So out she comes, and she's wearing Birkenstocks, because she was the tallest woman, and that's what tall women wear, Birkenstocks. And she comes out to the front of the stage, and it was, you know, it was a crowd like this. No, it wasn't. There was maybe 5 or 6 people. And so I was like this, like about that far. And she just comes to the edge of the stage. She stands there. And you're just like a little boy, like, is she gonna eat me, or what is this woman gonna do? And she just stands there. And this all circles around to my point earlier, so you gotta follow along where the story's going. And then she just stood there. And she just went, questions, comments. And she kept looking down at me, and I was like, fuck, no. Like, what do you ask? Like, what do you eat? Like, it was just all, and then she kept, she's like, questions, comments. Fuck dude-ette, I heard you the first time, and then I was just like, and then she just basically went, well, if nobody has anything to ask me, I'm leaving. She left.
Show business, baby.
That's my giant woman story. So dumb.
Hey, listen. So, what's the deal with you being, well, people wanting for you to be rude to them? It's like, is it something you enjoy? Because obviously you were not. Well, you're a very, very nice person. We talked a bit behind. Well, it's like, does that actually happen very often?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a regular thing. I mean, I think it's more interesting to be like when, is there an open Q&A?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna have an open Q&A for, well, at the end of.
So when we get to that, maybe someone who would ask for that can come up to the mic and explain that. Like, why do you want that? Because I honestly, obviously because of these characters, I understand they want a piece of that, but I just don't get it. Like being told to, fuck off or strengthen me. I was telling the story just before we came on about it was in Santiago, Chile. It was just for the video game, and they were going to ban it, and they obviously didn't. But then the audience, or the majority, 90% were like boys 16 and under. And all they wanted were like to be choked and to be told to fuck off. And it was like, it was very weird. I just don't understand that.
You're not into choking little boys?
Like I was like, and that's what I always say like with these things, it'd be like, because of these characters and these rather nefarious creatures I play, the worse I am, the more entertaining it is for people. Like when I'm in a bad mood or being an asshole, people are just like I can get away with anything. Like seriously, fuck off, or I'm gonna, kick you in the fucking head.
Oh my God,
Trevor! Be like, seriously, I'm gonna fucking take a shit right on your fucking chest right now.
But that's the thing, like, there was this comedian, Don Rickles. Don Rickles used to, he used to roast everyone. And then
us roasters.
There are stories where people would meet him, and they were like, "So Don Rickles, I met Don Rickles, and he was really nice to me, and he probably hated me because he didn't insult me in any way." So people do expect you to be in character all the time.
It's quite bizarre. And another, like we discussed, the Bill Burr is a stand-up comedian, and he has a new thing on Netflix, which he does a great bit about actors and their acting. Like that's the whole point, is to pretend you're someone else. And obviously nowadays, I think globally, there's such a PC movement of, you can't portray a gay person unless you're gay. Like, what? It's called fucking acting. Or, we said Bryan Cranston did this film, which was based on the French film, which was much better, just saying, the original. And played a paraplegic. And Bill Burr has this bit about everyone got up in arms because Bryan Cranston is not quadriplegic. This is all Bill Burr. This is not my bit, but I agree. Because he said, well, if they had a quadriplegic playing, then it wouldn't be fucking acting. It's called acting. So you pretend to be someone else. So it's, the characters I portray are acting. It's not me. And then the Trevor thing is even worse, because I'm like, that's a cartoon. So how could I even be a cartoon? That doesn't make any sense. So someone, when they get on the mic and explain all of this to me, I'll be forever grateful.
In Lithuania, as I observed actors, there are kind of like two kinds of actors. Like the ones that they get into character and then snap out of it as soon as they leave the set, and there are the ones that remain in the character for like as long as they shoot the thing.
Like a Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. They get into character and they don't get out of it until the gig is done. Do you ever come home like pissed and thinking of killing someone? You know, just or do you snap out of it as
Nope, nothing carries over. I mean, the only thing that, obviously it depends what you're working on and what you're shooting, and for the length of time, there's obviously things that get into your muscle, right? I mean, if you're spending all day at a animal rescue place with puppies, it puts you in a certain mood, right?
Absolutely.
So probably when you go home, you'll feel cuddly. If you've been doing nasty shit all day or getting, whatever it is, there might be something in your body that has that remnants of it, but I've never been one to, bring stuff home.
All right.
I'm not a method actor.
The actor thingy. Well, now you're a successful working actor, but you almost became a professional volleyball player, haven't you?
It's always good when one does one research, and of course I lie a lot and tell a lot of stories, so it's always interesting what sticks. But it's kind of true. I don't think, I mean, I had friends that ended up playing professional over here. I don't think I would have been good enough to play pro.
Yeah, but you did a lot of volleyball.
But I did like junior national in Canada, volleyball and provincial and club teams, and I did go to university for 1 year, pretty much to play volleyball. That was, when I had stopped acting. I sort of switched from acting when I was young to volleyball and then back to acting.
What was your first professional acting gig?
My mom is always good to remind me, because a lot of times when you do press and interviews, God, this is so comfy, this fucking chair. Right? It's just, my mom, was telling me. That, I guess the first, in elementary school,
Elementary school,
I would dress up as Betty Boop. Do you know Betty Boop?
Betty Boop.
Does anyone know Betty Boop? Heard the cartoon, Boop Boop, you do? Why the fuck I dressed up in drag as Betty Boop in elementary school, I have no clue. I don't know why.
Were you pushed into it by your teacher or something?
I do
'Cause
not.
that would be even weirder.
I do not know, and it wasn't. And my parents weren't in, entertainment. I have no idea what caused that, but that was sort of my first clear memory of doing something performance-wise. And then I did theater growing up and all of that. But yeah, Jesus, are we okay back there? Someone's screaming.
All right. So if you would have to give me a rough estimate, like percentage-wise, how many of your parts that you play are sinister and evil, and how many of them are like lawfully good?
I mean, it's a pretty strong percentage in the 80% range of the nefarious, not so good characters.
Why do you think that is? Because it's not just the face, man.
Look at
it's
it.
like
I mean, it's fucking.
it's not just the face, because you play like Professor Venomous in the.
That's true. Well, he's a bad character, right?
And like he is an evil character, but like it's just the voice.
Yeah, maybe the voice has something to do. I don't know. It's you're kind of presented certain opportunities, and then those opportunities seem to be the ones that get presented a lot more. And it's also generally what people see. So anything that I'm not that kind of person in generally probably doesn't get seen as much.
All right. Would you like to move on to Walking Dead?
Sure.
Is anyone here know this small series, Walking Dead, on television? So
Not the biggest Walking Dead group, but that's okay.
it's been seen quite a few times, I guess, in the audience. Do you ever interact with the zombies on set when they're not zombies, when they're regular people wearing zombie makeup?
Well, it's interesting with like the zombies, which Nicotero, I mean, they just do such an incredible job on the show with the makeup. And I never, like the character of Simon, never interacted. I never got to kill a fucking zombie. 2.5 years, never killed a zombie. And the first year, I think I worked, I never saw a zombie.
Were you disappointed?
Yeah. I was like, isn't this show about zombies and shit? And the first zombie I did see was at lunch. The actor, and it's like, oh, God, that's fucking gross. Like, I'm sorry, nice to meet you. I can't sit around you and eat lunch because it's just so disgusting. But that was my only interaction, was at the lunch table with a zombie.
Well, how weird was it to see a zombie eat just like regular food?
It's gross because even this close, it's so good, the makeup. It's just.
Is it though? Is it like?
Yeah.
As you can imagine?
Yeah. And depending on what state they're in, like if they have flesh, if they're like shit's hanging off their face.
Oh yeah.
It's gross because this close, you're still like.
Were you looking forward to killing a zombie for the first time?
I really did, and I never got to. I've never killed a zombie. It's crazy. Everyone got to kill a zombie, but not Simon. Simon was too busy, I guess, killing humans.
Well, like, jerk. How weird was it like to get a? Because I mean, like, to get a part in The Walking Dead is just like an accomplishment on its own. But when you finally get the part, you kind of was it stressful to work in The Walking Dead because people are dying there like that. Was it stressful to read the script for the first time, not knowing whether you're going to die or not?
No, never think of that. You're just kind of doing the job that's right in front of you, and I didn't know from the get-go. I honestly thought that the character was going to be someone that was just there to kind of present Jeffrey, present Negan.
Yeah.
Someone who opens up the curtain and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, here's fucking Negan." So that was kind of as far as I thought I was going to go.
Oh, you didn't think that you would be the right-hand man?
No. The thing with these shows, Walking Dead, Westworld, I'm sure a lot of the big shows, I mean, all these big shows are the same. I mean, the show that I'm shooting now, which ties into why I have the beard, we're going into season 2 of Snowpiercer, which is another very large show. You don't get the script. You don't get the entire season. You might, if you're lucky, get an arc or something for your character, but generally, you do not know. Like script, you get a week or two before. Sometimes 4 or 5 days before you shoot.
And you have no idea.
And you have no idea.
So even if someone asks you to tell them how, to spoil, you can't because you don't know.
No, not when you're shooting. Obviously, then you have to keep it a secret for many months. But yeah, the only time you know you're going to be dead is when you get the call. You call it the Gimple call, Scott Gimple. If his name came up on a text or a call, it generally meant
he's the executor.
You got the call. It meant you're done.
Oh yeah, because I thought that you guys would be like in a room and would be reading the script and like someone found, oh damn, I'm dead.
You get the heads up, but it's disconcerting. It's weird. You don't know where you're going. And I've often said with these characters that I've portrayed the unpredictable quality of them. Even with the video game, with Trevor, that was, I think the final script for that was 7,000 or something pages.
7,000 pages?
Yeah, like Ned's great. For like, I could ask Ned, how many pages? He'd be like, 7,302. Fuck, right? I didn't pay attention to that. But with these things, you're not given the full, we didn't get 7,000 pages. We get 20 pages at a time. And so you get this, and what you have to do, certainly for myself as an actor, you want to kind of portray as many flavors as you can. Like acting for me is a big Dagwood sandwich, a big fucking sandwich full of all these layers. Ideally, you bite into it, God, fuck, that's delicious. You're not sure exactly why, there's just a lot going on. So that to me is a performance. There's a lot going on. Sometimes you don't know why you're feeling bad, or why do I feel happy? Because this person is maybe not the best person or the nicest person. So you fill this sandwich with as many layers as possible, and when you don't know, when you don't have the sort of the recipe, if you will, or the final dinner preparation, you put in as many layers as possible to allow, as an actor, the options to go as many different places.
Right.
Does that make sense? So it's,
Absolutely.
you know, you portray a bit of humor, so maybe the writers will take you into more of a funny place.
Do you consider yourself to be like, you know, there's this saying like a triple threat actor, like sing and dance and act. No.
My range is about as big as this chair, from here to here.
You have your. Have you ever considered to? Because
I've always wanted to do. I'll tell you what. Like I remember the movie Moulin Rouge, right? When they did that with Ewan McGregor, Baz Luhrmann. Loved it. I mean, first of all, Ewan McGregor. Right? Who else can double decker smile? And you buy it.
He's one of my favorite actors. He's just amazing.
Although he did do. I should have been Danny Torrance. I truly did doing The Shining, the sequel.
Okay.
And Ewan got the part as the son. You know, Jack's son.
Yeah.
Fuck, if there was any role I was born to play, Jack's son. But bless him, he's an amazing actor. He's got a beautiful smile when he sounds. And Moulin Rouge was I loved, but I thought the singing was almost too good. And I would be curious to do okay, like Rocket Man.
Yeah,
Right?
Rocket Man.
Elton John, the Rocket Man. Right? Wasn't it good? Taryn was incredible.
Oh yeah, the director's wife is Lithuanian. She's like really.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, she's a director herself in Lithuania. Dexter Fletcher's wife is
wow.
Lithuanian. Yeah, he hangs around in Lithuania quite a lot.
I've seen it twice now on the plane, and I've cried both times. And I gotta say, I think I prefer it over Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
Yeah. And Rami's amazing, and that film is great too, but for some reason, maybe because I am more of an Elton John fan of the music than I am a Queen. I love Queen too, but Elton John's music is just, you know, and I love
It is dreamy.
the fantastical element of it. It had that European feeling where it doesn't have to be explained, like, this is fantasy, this isn't really fucking happening. And so I'd love to do, and I love when they're saying, like, I'd love to do a musical, even on stage, where you sing because you love to sing, not because you're a great singer. That would be fun to do.
Then do you enjoy singing though?
I love singing. Love singing.
What do you sing? Like, what's your favorite song to sing in the shower?
Well, I'm more of a bather.
Bather. All right, so that
I prends de la douche. I love. It's like what? Prends la douche. Take a shower. No, I'm okay. That was a good one. That was fucking fun. At least someone gets me. One in a crowd of 100. I don't know what it was. No, I love like City in Color and the National. I'll always sing. Like I would like City in Color. We found each other in the dark. Somehow a song that's always coming up. Or Blood Buzz Ohio from the National. I find myself singing those a lot.
What's the last concert you've been to that blew your mind? Do you go to concerts at all?
I do. I love. And last year I went to All Points East Festival in London, which was one of the best fucking festivals I've ever been to. Who did I just see recently? Actually, Dave Navarro just had a concert. It's for mental health awareness in LA. They had like Juliette Lewis performed, and Brad is the drummer from Rage Against the Machine. Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro performed together. Jane's Addiction. That was fun. That was a fun show. But like again, like I think what was the who did I see recently? I just love it. I mean, the National I see all the time, and they're just the fucking greatest show. The National. And their brother. So I guess it's the National.
Was there a point in your career where you went to a job and someone was acting so good that you went like, oh man.
Someone was acting what?
Well, what was the best acting you have ever seen on a set done by someone else?
On a set, like someone that I've worked with?
Yeah.
That's just blown me away?
Yeah.
Fuck. That's tough. I don't know.
Okay, then.
That might come back around. I mean, you could like, yeah, that's a tough one to, because, you know, it'd be like having 4 children and saying, which one's your favorite?
Well, but
Someone's gonna get left out. Someone's gonna, fucking little Johnny's gonna cry his eyes out when you say it's.
There's always a favorite. There's always a favorite. Come on.
I mean, I'll give the blanket statement of my favorite actors to certainly work with are those that are responsive and present. That being, here we are.
All right, so you don't like people to show up on set like hungover.
Well, just, I mean, people that are present, like you should be present with someone and not be concerned about how you look or how it's coming across. I think a lot of times when people recognize a performance as being something good or different and they don't know why, watch something again that's one of your favorite performers or actors and see if you can figure out why. And a lot of times it's because they're simply really asking a question or really giving an answer. And it's amazing what that can do, because that means you're engaged with someone else. When you really fucking care, you know, you want to know the answer, and you really give the answer. So those are certainly my favorite actors to work with, are people that are present, because then it can change. You could do, I was just shooting something, which I can't say, but it comes out next year.
Oh, you've got a secret?
A secret. But working with them, these two, was great. They did a lot of coverage. They do a lot of coverage on this show. And there was maybe 46 or 47 takes we did, which I fucking love, because I'll just do a line 6 gazillion times, because every time it should be different, because if you're present in the moment, you're always looking for something different. We're constantly changing, right? We're just these fucking molecules bouncing around all the time. So it's like every time you get to, and they were great, because every time would be something different. So it doesn't feel like you're doing something 47 times, it's just you're asking the same question, but you can ask it differently, or respond different, or look different, or...
All right, so we like taking...
Are you guys bored shitless at this point? Everyone's very quiet. Why is that? Is it just boring? I know I natter on. I don't know. All right.
They want you to sing.
Look at that.
Let's do a karaoke.
How about just some of that? Looks like I shit myself, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, man. But you're working out a lot, right? Because
I don't.
I've seen those. Anyone that knows how to use YouTube, search for Old Spice Stephen A. commercial.
Yeah, Bob Giovanni.
Oh man, Bob Giovanni is awesome, man. You have a couple of shower scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You are jacked.
Well, I tell you, I'm not like a big gym guy. I don't like confined spaces. I think that's just, I used to run a lot. I don't so much anymore, sadly. But all of that's pretty easy. Like if you watch what you eat and you move around a lot.
You get jacked?
I mean, obviously genetics have a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. You're kind of built a certain way. You're, an what is it? An ectomorph? Endomorph is the round one. So yeah, I mean, I have my little routine, and now I cycle a lot. But it's honestly, if I didn't drink as much beer as I had, I would probably be a very skinny mini.
Have you tried Lithuanian one? Lithuanian beer?
Yeah, I still haven't found my IPA. I'm a very particular.
What kind of IPA do you like?
Well, this is.
And just so that you know, this shit that we're doing right now, we're talking about beer. This is illegal as fuck.
Illegal?
Yeah, because we can't even talk about beer. It's like new alcohol laws.
Really?
Yeah, man.
What's illegal to talk about beer, but you can.
Pretty much. I'm not even sure anymore. I think it's pretty much illegal to think about alcohol.
It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. If this crowd is quiet now, let's see how quiet they can get when I describe what I'm looking for in an IPA.
Let's do it.
I'm looking for a 6 to 7% ABV, and it's got to be Simcoe and Mosaic hop forward. with sweetness on the tongue as opposed to bitter.
Did we get that? Okay. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll get you. I'll get you that IPA.
I literally have a team right now that's been looking for 2 days. And we went to a place last night.
Oh, you have a team just for...
I'm not a diva, but I have to say, especially, well, these ones are easy. Like, they're like at cons in America, you generally spend like all day hanging out. But the further you travel, the easier they are. Like, we just get to talk, be a jackass for a bit, do some photos, do some autographs, and you're kind of in and out.
Wait a minute. Do you have an entourage that is dedicated solely for searching for the right beer for you?
It's just a couple people that have been looking for the right IPA.
Oh no, I'm just taking a couple of beer people. Just a couple.
Well, it's really in the best interest of your country, of your beautiful country of Lithuania. I am doing this as a service to everyone. It's not just about me.
Oh, but duh. But we're actually in recent years we've started making some seriously good beer. So
again, it's a preference thing, right? It's like I can't, because now I can't have a normal beer. It's ruined my palate. Like,
you're spoiled.
You
have a spoiled palate.
It's spoiled. It's so nice to know what you like, right? I mean, if you like a specific, like an apple juice, this young man in the front, I know you like your apple juice, right? Yeah, little Timmy loves his apple juice. And little Timmy likes, you just like a specific juice, right? Yeah. And so you don't want to have other juice once you have that flavor. Well, drinking when you're older is the same way.
He just got offended.
It's like drugs. When you do the drugs, when you get older.
He just got offended because
you get addicted to fucking crack.
You thought that he was an apple juice kind of guy, and he was just like, no.
Little boy just wet himself. I'm just kidding. It would be funny if you did, but it's not funny. Now you know how I felt when the big giant woman, right? It's uncomfortable. Like you smile, but you're kind of nervous too. It sucks. Fucking life, man. Welcome to life. It gets worse. Hear me roar.
This is what we want you kids to take from this discussion, that it gets worse.
I just realized it's funny because I want to do this. I'm going to record this. So, God. I have to say, whenever I do turn it on myself, why the fuck would anyone want me on their phone? I mean, thank you, but honestly, when I turn it to look at myself, I'm like, God damn, it's a good thing I got some talent. I ain't making it as a fucking beauty queen. So I was just doing this because someone was talking about a lion, and that says, hear me roar. So I am in a lion's throne, right? And we can all say hi. No one knows who the fuck was the score, but that really doesn't matter. It's a big crowd. It's a lovely crowd. Little Timmy down there who loves his apple juice. Seriously, my forehead is sweating. Looks like I shit my...
See, everyone loves you being angry. Once again. Hey, by the way, we have some people that want to ask questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, shit, right? We've taken up all this time with banter. What I think is now it's getting hot now, I'm like worked up. Talking about beer, I got all excited. Giving drug advice to the little boys. Gets me all worked up. Waldo.
Hey Steve. So I have a question, a follow-up question, and a gift. All three related to GTA, if I may.
Okay. One.
Question one. I'll be honest with you. The first time I was introduced with you outside of GTA was while I watching Better Call Saul. If you remember the scene where you were competing with Michael to be that
Jonathan, yeah.
Yeah, to be that guy's character. And I remember watching the scene and I was like, wow, this guy looks exactly like Trevor. Could it be that it's the same guy who played the voice acting, who did the voice acting? And it was
Your questions are like my answers, just a stream of consciousness. Do you have a point?
Yes. How do you feel like? I noticed that a lot
See,
of
I could be an asshole and no one cares.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he's being an asshole now. That's cute. Are these people in line for questions too, or no? This is the lineup. It's just here.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is here. Sorry.
Because I was like, holy fuck, we gotta quicken this up, but you're all just standing and we've got a short line of questions. Cool. Just trying to make sure everyone asks their questions. We only have 8. Go on. We're still
Okay.
on number 1. We're still on 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, I forgot what you were talking about, but continue. It's fascinating.
How do you feel about the fact that the creators of the game decided to create the character based on your looks as the voice actor?
Well,
Because they did the same with Michael.
That was the point all along.
But how do you feel about it?
That's why I wanted to do it.
Okay.
Like I didn't video games, I don't care, I still don't care. I really still haven't played the game. But when I had an opportunity to be a cartoon, like that's what they said, is we're gonna base this on you. I was like, that's cool, cartoon. So that was I was like, yeah, cool. And as I get older, I'm looking more and more like Trevor. Like the more weathered I get, and my hair keeps going, and you know, my merkin's thinner, and soon it's just gonna be a fucking patch. I'll look like him more and more as I get older. So in 10 years, when I come back to Lithuania for Baltics Con 23,
We're gonna raise hell on Vilnius City.
yes. All right, so, okay.
Follow-up question. From the script of the 7,000 pages that you said, I assume the writers did a lot of work. However, Trevor itself was one of the most amusing characters for me, because it was one of the most hilarious characters for me. So I just wanted to know how much of all the lash outs and all the jokes and all the everything was the writer's work, and how much of it was your own improvisation?
All writers,
Like 100%?
100%. It's like The Walking Dead, too. All writers. I mean, that's kind of your job as an actor. Unless, no, I mean, yeah. it was all
Because
writers.
Ryan Reynolds is known to be...
Fuck Ryan Reynolds.
I know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that he does a lot of improvisation. I was assuming you do as well.
No. I mean, no, it was funny because when you look at, like, I did a show called Stand versus Evil. Stand Against Evil? Stand versus Evil, Stand Against Evil. But it was so great because I was shooting Walking Dead at the time too, and when you get in your muscles that you have to stick to the script, and then you get on a show where, you know, it was a lot of improv, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah. This is fun to go off script. But generally you like to, you know, stick to the script, and that was all written.
All right.
The job is to make it look like it's improvised.
All right.
Ryan Reynolds apparently thinks that he doesn't need to do that, and he can just improvise. Because he's so good looking. That's the benefit of being so good looking.
Well, he's not talented, obviously.
He is, he's amazing. Love Ryan Reynolds. What a beautiful, and he's Canadian, so I'm Canadian. So. Number 3.
So the 3 was the gift related to video game, if I may.
What? Oh,
A gift.
Give me a gift?
Yes.
Okay, pull it out of your pocket.
I got something for you here.
What is it?
It's related.
Security.
It's related to one of the things that cracked me up the most in GTA as Trevor.
What is it? Oh, American Money?
Buy yourself something nice.
Thanks, darling. I appreciate it. And I like your Smurf outfit. Is that where you are? Waldo. Where's Waldo? All right.
Did you look at it?
No. It's $1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there something
Is
there something game related to this?
Yeah. I
I've never
said
played
buy
the game.
something nice, not expensive.
Is that one of Trevor's lines? Oh, cool. Thank you. I get it now. I love that. How you
just got educated.
see what he did there? That it's from the game. I love that part of the game. part where they do that exchange. It's great. Thank you.
Hi, Steve.
This is a three-part question?
No, it's only
Thank
one.
fuck.
When eventually Marvel will call you to join MCU, which character would you like to play and why is it Wolverine?
I'll tell you what. Wolverine, I auditioned for like 25 years ago. I remember in New York, 25 years ago, auditioning for that. And he's from Northern Alberta, Wolverine. Originally, right, in the comic books? He's Canadian, I'm Canadian. I don't know. Welcome to show business.
The game is rigged.
It's a shame. I don't know, because I really don't know I'm not a comic book person. I mean, man, it would be a fun world to be in. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Steven.
Hello.
So let's talk about chairs. No, I'm just joking.
There you go.
So the question is...
I'll talk chairs all fucking day, son.
So the question is, how much did the scriptwriters molded Trevor around you, or more than Trevor as a character molded you in what you are now?
I think a lot of it was obviously, again, it was written on the page. So someone who speaks a certain way, you begin, the mannerisms come out of that, right? When you're having to stomp a guy's head, or fuck this thing, or fuck that thing, or you start to move a certain way. And so it sort of, I think, goes hand in hand, you know, as you go along, and then they discover, oh, he can really go there. We could pretty much do anything with this guy. I think it evolved, but it starts with that writing process and then went along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Steve, and I have only one question and one solid explanation. So first question would be, have you ever fully completed GTA 5?
Never played it. I've played it a little bit, like 10 minutes, and I didn't get it. I had a virtual reality version made of it, of the game. And I put the helmet on, and they were all, you know, I was like, what do I do? They're like, drive a car. I was like, I don't want to drive a car, it's stupid. They're like, okay, you can beat someone up. I was like, I don't want to beat someone up, that's stupid. Okay, you can take a gun, you can kill someone. I'm like, I want to take a gun and kill someone. Blow someone, I don't want to blow someone. That was that, and then that was it. That was I don't understand it.
Okay, and another question, why did you start talking about layers with use sandwiches instead of onions? Shark 5.
Sorry, what was that? I should understand that.
Why did you start talking about layers with use sandwiches instead of onions in this?
Oh, the layers. Well, onions are part of a sandwich. That's the whole point, right? I mean, that's the one thing, if you do taste an onion in your sandwich, that would be something you recognize. So that would be like watching a performance and having something very strong. You recognize it as the onion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You reminded me so much when I first saw you in the fog. You reminded me of the younger version of my son. And I had this complete pang of wanting to just rush off the stage and give you a big hug. And I feel incredibly sad now, which is crazy. But you look so much like him.
Hello.
You always have to say with parents, excuse me if I have to hug your child. It's just... Hey, sorry.
Are you a gamer, and if you are, what's your favorite gamer?
Game?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
Don't play them. Don't play them. I think like the only game I ever played was, you know, back in the Atari days. I used to like, oh, actually there's these new places called barcades, but they're the old school video games. And we went in there and Frogger. I forgot I loved Frogger.
And another question, were there any roles that you declined?
Stuff that I declined. I mean, just they're, you know, little bit things that I maybe just didn't want to do. You know, it's not like I've turned down, you know, Star Wars, or, you know, they offered me Wolverine, and I was like, no, I can't. Oh, interestingly, I did turn down Max Payne, another video game. Max Payne, back in the day, I don't even know if that's still around, Max Payne. Is he still is it still there? But I remember back in the day, early days in New York, I was theater, I was a theater actor. And back then you were either a theater actor, or a film actor, or a TV actor, or a commercial actor. Whereas now you're either a working actor or you're not. But back then, I remember there was a Max Payne thing, and I was like, first of all, I'm not going to contribute to the violence in society, and that's too. And the irony is then I end up doing Trevor. But that was something I actually turned down. I was like, no, I just don't want to contribute to that world. Violence and video games. Look at me now! Who cares? Fucking whore!
Thank you.
Thank you. It's like a therapy session. I'm remembering shit from my past.
Oh, you're gonna cry tonight.
I'd like to ask a question about Trevor, but not from the rude, crazy side, but like the funny side, because there's of course a mission fresh meat, whereas a Trevor, you have to climb a fence and you fell over. How did the situation actually happen? Did you actually?
Oh yeah, and this is a great lesson to the kids in the audience. Don't believe everything you read. There's a lot of stuff, and again, I like to make shit up. That scene in particular, I think at one point it was, said it was improvised or something.
That's the information, of course, that is spread around the internet.
Yeah. No, it was, because you're wearing a motion capture outfit, which has these sensors, these balls, like they're hard. They're hard balls. Insert your jokes here, folks, because those jokes never got old. With balls on you, and a helmet with a camera. And that thing's very expensive, the camera and that light. So when you're about to you want to make sure if you're doing the trick over the fence, can I? Will it break this? Do I need a head strap? So you have to plan it. And then make it look improvised. And then give interviews and lie and say I improvised it.
And another thing I like to say, because of the thing you mentioned, that why the other kids and so on are fascinated because of the Trevor, like choking or
Do you have an answer?
Yes, I'd like to explain so much shortly that there are two things I think that fascinate these kind of kids. Curiosity, but as in a sense of doing things that you're not actually do, socially do, like.
That's playing the game, but actually wanting to be sworn at. That's what I'm curious about, why someone wants to be told to fuck off. Just because you played the character, so it sounds cool?
Yes.
Is that what? Okay. I guess I answered my question. I don't need you anymore. Next. I figured it out on my
One
own.
thing, because of
We gotta move along, bro.
It's like people taking video games too seriously. That's
Preach, brother. Preach. Thank you.
That's true. Thank you. I didn't mean to be rude. I was actually just joking, but it's true.
Hi. You were talking about The Walking Dead. That in this kind of series, you always get like really small portions of what you're going to be doing. So you're always surprised about what's going to happen to your character. How from such small information about your character, you actually build up like how you're going to talk, how you're going to say a line, how you're going to portray things? Is that like explained, or do you have to like come up yourself with that kind of like the portrait you're portraying?
Great question. I mean, it's obviously, again, it starts with the words. So like I know with Simon, he was given such, the language he spoke, like some of the words, I was like, I don't know this word. So from that you start to build someone who speaks that way. And someone who uses those sort of terms and the way he spoke, he seemed to be peacocking. And then all of a sudden, the peacock. Fucking peacock. So then it's a strut, and then you become that strutting fucking peacocker. But then the layers of the sandwich come from, well, who are these peacockers? They're bullies. And bullies are generally the weakest fucking little pukes. They're just trying to be all tough, but they're not. So then you begin adding layers to it. Someone who's maybe insecure. And so it starts and it kind of builds from there. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you quickly, you said that you started your your career in scenes like theater, right? Would you like to come back to that, or is like the new films and series kind of like more
Theater.
interesting?
No, I'd love to do theater. It's been so many years it scared the shit out of me, but we're just talking about, like, I was in London a year ago, meeting with theaters there.
If you hear a lot of actors go into films and series and movies, and then they're like, oh, I miss the old days.
Well, because theater is so different. I mean, with film and TV, you're sitting around for 6-7 hours, and then you go in and you do your little scene, and then you break, because now you got to do the coverage, change coverage, or do. There's not a lot of continuity to it. Whereas theater, there's no hiding. You're fucking good or you're bad as an actor, right? You go see theater and you know if someone's shitty or not. Film, TV, trust me, you can be a terrible, shitty actor and still look good, you know? So theater is sort of the actor's medium, and crave that. And then just the engagement, like I was talking about before, question answer theater, there's no escape, you're just locked in. So, yeah, there's a few shows I'd really love to do. And it'd be nice to just for 6 months kind of check out and just act.
Thank you. I hope you actually do. Thank
So
you.
do I.
Thank you. We have time for one more question.
Well, I have two.
We have time for one more question.
Okay, so the first thing is do you ever...
One more question.
Oh, come on.
One more.
Okay, so do you ever feel like you and the character Trevor have similar personalities?
No.
No.
Sense of humor.
And the second thing, it's really quick. Can you please say "fuck you" in Trevor's style?
Where have you been?
Yeah, we said no. Can't do that. I don't curse. I don't believe in it. But for those of you behind that didn't get to ask a question, I will be at my table, and I do chat. Which, if you're in my line and you're wondering why you're waiting, it's probably because I might chat to those that are behind you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was an honor having you, sir. Please make some noise. Steven R.
And I will say, what I always like to say, is that these things, this is only here because of you people. It's always ironic to me that we get thanked for coming, but pretty fucking grateful that there's this opportunity, and it doesn't exist without fans or curiosity seekers or people that just want to be punished listening to me talk about chairs. Whatever it is, it's always appreciated because, you know, we're not here, you guys don't want that, so it's always a thank you as opposed to us. Thank you. And I think I'm going to be at my table. I don't know how it works here, but there's a table in some other room, and we have chairs like this, which I won't be sitting in